Okay, good morning, everyone. So welcome to today's session. And this is one of the most important sessions for our summer training. But I'm going to have our Executive Director, Dr. Nadeau, to introduce the session. Welcome, Dr. Nadeau.
Thank you, Kevin. And good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate those of you who are in Group 1. This is your last day of orientation. I'm sure you're looking forward to your release from quarantine and going forward with your assignments. Meanwhile, Group 2, you still have 2 more weeks, I think, of orientation, but it's very, very interesting and informative. I think you'll enjoy it. And I would like to express my congratulations to Kevi for putting together such a great program. And I'm sure you will all agree with me that it's been stimulating and has, I imagine, made you even more excited about being here in Taiwan. This morning's sessions are important. We have one featuring our partners at AIT, and another on sexual assault and sexual harassment. I'm very honored to introduce the first session. I will have to duck out in a few minutes for the rest of the morning due to some other meetings, but wish you all a very productive orientation day. Now I want to introduce our speakers for this first hour. They are our representatives from AIT. I mentioned to you that they are our partners in many ways. We receive funding from AIT for our American scholars and fellows, as well as our Taiwan scholars and fellows, that is our traditional programs. And we receive all kinds of other support, both in terms of citizen services and educational resources from AIT. So there are very important and supportive partners for the Fulbright program. This morning, we will have 4 representatives from AIT. First, I would like to introduce Luke Martin. He is the Cultural Affairs Officer at AIT. And Luke also serves on the board of our foundation. Second is Juliana Finucane. She is the section chief of American Citizen Services. And then we have Jenning King, the English language coordinator at AIT, and Sophie Wong, the American Center director. So thank you all for being here today. ETAs, please pay attention. They will give you some very important information and guidance. So Luke, I'll pass it over to you and let you take over. Thank you.
Thanks, Randall. That's great. Well, again, I'd like to welcome everybody to Taiwan. I'm glad you've made it this far. I feel your pain a little bit. I just went through 2 weeks of quarantine as well, and it's not a fun experience. Although ironically, I talked to a woman who was in quarantine at the same time as me. She said it was the best 2 weeks of her life. She got to sleep in and read books, but I was pacing my hotel room and chewing my nails by the end of it. So not a fun time. But anyway, so I'm the Cultural Affairs Officer here at AIT. And as you know, the US does not have an embassy or official diplomatic relations with Taiwan. So also, as you know, AIT serves as what some people say the de facto embassy. What that really means is we are a liaison between the United States and Taiwan. We serve all the kind of roles that you'll see in countries that have embassies or consulates. And these include everything when you think about what our relationship is with Taiwan, between the United States and Taiwan. So whether that's political or economic, commercial, or agricultural, trade, and in my case, the public diplomacy section. So public diplomacy is by far the most important part of AIT, but not really. But what it is we're really focusing on people-to-people ties, of which you guys serve a role in that as well. So the funding that AIT provides to the Fulbright program, this is all really, certainly you're benefiting on being here and experiencing Taiwan, and you're giving back as well. But that giving back, your role as an ETA, really is serving this higher foreign policy goal, and it's to be building these people-to-people relationships between Taiwan and the United States. So why? Well, it's partly because in your capacity, and when you return to the United States as well, you're kind of like an ambassador. You'll always be able to explain the situation in Taiwan uh, better than those who have not lived here. I'm sure you're getting emails and texts from your family about these PLA incursions. What does it mean? Well, you can talk a little bit about what it's like on the ground here. So that's your role, bringing back Taiwan to the United States. And the other thing as well is you're here, and all the things that you're doing as an ETA is really helping the Taiwan public, whether it's in the schools or when you're going to the night market or talking with the administrators, better understanding the United States. And ultimately, this helps with our economic, with our political, and with our kind of everyday relationships between two very important places in the world. So thank you for your service, really, to U.S. foreign policy. I think it's great. So I know Juliana is going to talk about, actually, I can summarize hers. She doesn't even need to speak. She's just going to say, don't do drugs while you're here. That's the whole purpose of hers. But I think there's a few things that we can also help you on while you're here. Always within the contingent of ETAs, there are some people that are interested in foreign service as a potential career, or other USG overseas work. I'm happy to meet with people, talk to them, talk to you about the Foreign Service Officer test, about what it's like serving as a diplomat, the different kinds of roles you can have. And anyway, so if you are interested in that, certainly reach out to me, and I'd be happy to meet for lunch or coffee, or do separate presentations as well. Second, I'm hoping to meet some of you where, as ETAs, you'll hear from Sophie Wong, who's the director of our American Center. As ETAs, you're going to do storytelling sometimes in some of our American spaces. That's really great, and we love that you're giving back for that. And I'm hoping to see some of you in our spaces for that as well. We have other programs, like a new esports program that will have an English language component, and I think it'd be great to have some ETAs possibly involved in that. Something I talked with Randall about, and that I think we have general agreement that this could be something you could do. But other than that, AIT is here for you in whatever capacity you're going to need. I really know that this is going to be a great year, or maybe 2 years if you extend. And you'll be learning a lot about Taiwan. Hopefully you can improve your Chinese a bit and get to experience all the crazy food culture here and everything that Taiwan has to offer. So anyway, welcome. And I think that Juliana is going to say something next. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Luke. I am Juliana Finucane. I'm the chief of the American Citizen Services Unit here at AIT. We're part of the consular section. We like to think of the work that the consular section does as the most important work that AIT does. So I guess we can debate that later, Luke. But welcome, we're all thrilled that you are here, that you've made it. I know that there's been a lot of uncertainty about travel, about entry. And so, yeah, so welcome. We are all very excited to have you guys here. In addition to reminding you of the extreme seriousness of doing drugs in Taiwan, I do have a few other things to say. I'm going to talk a little bit about what our team here at AIT and American Citizen Services can do for you, and also a little bit about certain things to think about by way of keeping yourself safe, taking responsibility for your own safety and security while you're here in Taiwan. Basically, everything I'm going to say today is also on our website, which has lots of contact information for people that you may need to get in touch with, or information about emergency preparedness, information about how to make an appointment if you need routine services. So you don't need to write everything down, just sort of remember the bare bones of what I'm going to say, and then should you need any additional assistance, anything, any details you might need are on our website, AIT's website. So in terms of the sort of slate of routine services, just like Luke was saying, we provide the same services that any embassy or consulate would provide to Americans. So if you lose your passport, you can get a new passport here. If you need to renew a passport, we can help you with that. We will be able to help you with voting if you need help getting your ballot back or information about how to register to vote absentee. We can help you with that. If you have a child when you're here and you want to register the birth of a child abroad, we can help you with that. One thing we have actually been seeing a lot of lately is people who require notarial services. So if you need something notarized, that's also something that our team can help you with here. There are a few things in Taiwan that if you get married, you need to come in and do an affidavit that you're not already married. We can help you with that. Or if you sign up for a driver's license, you also need to submit an affidavit to the Taiwan side, attesting that you have a valid US driver's license. So all these kinds of things, these are the sort of fundamental routine services that we provide. On the more non-routine side, Taiwan is one of the best places in the world to be right now. That's my personal opinion, not necessarily my professional opinion, but it's a beautiful place with lots of great opportunities. I've been here more than 3 years already. I've seen a lot of this island. We take our responsibility to share information with Americans on island very, very seriously. And one of the main ways that we communicate with you guys is through STEP. So Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. And I hope that you have all already enrolled in STEP, but if you haven't, you can still do that. And so that basically you provide to us your email, your contact information. And so that if we have information about any sort of a threat changing, I mean, from, an oncoming typhoon to, changes in local regulations about COVID, we push out information through our STEP system with some frequency. So one of the most reliable ways to get good information from us is by making sure that you are enrolled in STEP and we have your valid updated contact information. So even though Taiwan is extremely safe, you should take the same precautions here that you would anywhere. Street level crime is extremely low here, but you should still always be aware of your surroundings, be aware of where you are, keep an eye on your belongings. And as Luke sort of hinted at, Taiwan does have extremely strict drug laws here. And so anybody, not just Americans and Taiwan, people in Taiwan are expected to follow all local laws. And so we have had problems in the past with people, especially coming from the US, where drug laws are relaxing, kind of bringing that same attitude with them towards Taiwan. But you will find no such leniency on the part of the Taiwan authorities when it comes to drug possession here. So, if you do drugs and get in trouble for it, what we will tell you is that that is the law here, and there's really nothing we can do for you except, let your family know. So please take that extremely seriously. Of all the local laws that we've had people have a problem with, this is one of them, one of the main ones. So please just don't do drugs, full stop. All right, that's the end of that part of the lecture. So the other great place to get all sorts of information about safety and security is travel.state.gov, which I also assume that you guys have looked at already. It has lots of great information about not only just the COVID conditions here, but border restrictions, various restrictions on things that you can and can't do because of COVID here in Taiwan. So that's any information that we have that we tell our own people is also on travel.state.gov. That's the law, that we share all information with the American public that we have access to ourselves about security threats. So all that information is on travel.state.gov, so you should look there too. One thing that I would also encourage you to do is make sure that FSC, the Dr. Nadeau's team, has updated emergency contact information for all of you. It's also best practices. I hope and expect you to do a lot of traveling when you're here. No matter where you're going, you should always make sure somebody knows where you are and who you're with. It's best practices. Taiwan is, again, it's a beautiful place. It's largely safe, but earthquakes are a real thing here. Typhoons are a real thing here. And anything can happen at any time. And so you should always take your own sort of personal preparedness very seriously. Make sure people know where you are, even if it's just for a night away. Make sure, you know, having a buddy system in place is always good. And if you do end up needing help with anything, the Foreign Affairs Police, I don't know how many of you guys do speak Chinese, but if you're not comfortable calling the local police and using Chinese, you can get the number for the Foreign Affairs Police right on our website also, and they will have translators available to help you, and you can speak to them directly in English. I think that's pretty much all I have, but I'm definitely open to questions if any of you guys have questions. I think there's a hand raising function if anybody wants to ask a question. Luke, have I missed anything?
We can also use.
Did you mention anything about drugs? I don't remember. That's okay.
Let me see. Oh, yeah, don't do them.
Oh, good, good.
I have had an email or two from ETAs regarding the flight incursions of the PLA over the last week, and they were concerned about it and wondered what kinds of preparedness we have at FSE or AIT for American citizens in this respect. I know it's a difficult question, but I have received a few emails about it.
There's a question here. Do you?
So if we have actionable information about a security threat, that's something that we'll share with everybody. I mean, as part of our routine emergency preparedness in ACS and at AIT in general, we are constantly preparing for the full range of, you know, potential crises.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, we're all still here. I don't know, Luke, is there anything that you guys want to say about this? I mean,
no, but I think following our Facebook, you're going to be able to get information on that. You know, we put out press releases, but you know, this is a difficult situation. It sort of is what it is. Like everything, you should always have your little go bag and be prepared for any kind of emergency, no matter what that's going to be, from earthquake to typhoon to PLA incursion. I mean, none of these things seem reasonable or feasible, but as we know, things happen. So always be safe and ready.
yeah, and I mean, this is pretty much what we tell people for PLA incursions, for earthquake preparedness, for, you know, like a sudden, like failure of the internet, you know, like cell phone towers or something. So you know, it's just general best practices to always be prepared. You know, again, we have preparedness advice on our website too. have copies of all your vital documents, make sure somebody knows where you are and how to get in touch with you, that kind of stuff. But, you know, again, like I said before, we take our responsibility to share security threat information with Americans very, very seriously. So anything that, you know, any information about a threat is something that we would be sharing with you guys and with the American citizen community at large. Yes, is the answer to the question that came in on the chat. We absolutely 100% strongly recommend registering in a Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, because that is the main way that we would, I mean, so like Luke was saying, you know, we do have a Facebook, we release press releases, we have our own website, but in terms of getting in touch with Americans, for our purposes, one of the main ways we would get in touch with you is through STEPS, just the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. So if you haven't done it already, please do. That's a way that you can give us not only your email, but your location, your phone number, your emergency contact information. And so if anything happens, the more information we have about where you are and who to get in touch with in the US is, you know, the better for us. So yes, I strongly recommend you register. Oh, and if you're having trouble registering for STEP, that's the next question. You can email our Taipei ACS at state.gov team, and we can get back to you and help you figure out how to register.
I have a quick question, if that's okay. Yeah. Thanks so much for all the information you shared today. This might be like tricky to answer, but in like a worst case scenario, and realizing that it's very unlikely that this would happen in the coming year, but if there were to be a serious like security threat on the island with a PLA incursion, is it reasonable to expect that we would get help being evacuated from you guys? I realize that that's probably more of like, definitely not something that could be guaranteed, because that's probably like an order you receive from the US, but is that reasonable to expect? Just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I mean, and we do have really clear policy guidance on that. So basically, any security threat that would lead to a drawdown of our own staff. So for example, if we were going to evacuate our own staff, whatever evacuation option were available to us would also be available to Americans. So in general, you know, whether it's, you know, a cyber attack or an earthquake or a nuclear issue or, you know, a military incursion, anything, we would encourage people who wanted to leave to use commercial options as long as they're available. So that would be what we would do for our own staff. That would be what we would recommend for Americans. And then if additional measures were required, that's also something that if our people were availing ourselves of that, that's something that we would and we would make available to other Americans also.
Thank
you.
So
that's written into our policy. So, and that actually, I mean, if you probably have followed the news over the past year and a half, last year, springtime, when all the COVID repatriations were happening, that's basically exactly the same protocol that every post everywhere in the world was following to do all their evacuations. Mm-hmm. Anything else? That's it. Okay, great. Thank you guys. I think, are you next? No, I'm next. Oh, you're next. Okay.
So, hello everybody, and again, welcome to Taiwan. I'm Jenny King, the English language coordinator at the Public Diplomacy section at AIT. So I will give you an overview of the resources you can use in your classrooms or to aid your teaching. So let me share my screen. Okay, so all our materials and resources and programs come from the Office of English Language Programs based in Washington. Under that, there's a regional English language office that's based in Manila, and they are responsible for countries like Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, of course, the Philippines, and the Pacific Islands. So we receive a lot of support from them. That's just a short overview of the structure. And so in terms of programs that we offer to teachers, you can divide them into online and in-person, but of course, because of COVID, our in-person programs like the English Language Fellow or English Language Specialist, these programs are all shifted online. So I will not talk about them too much because in the past, we did have ETAs working with fellows or specialists, but now it's all online. But what you can use for your own classroom, you can learn about teaching through the online professional English network we call Open. And under that, we offer MOOCs and American English webinar series. So I will talk about all these in my slides later. And in terms of resources, we have print publications that we mail out every quarter, and you do get them because we do send a large volume of copies to FSE for distribution to your locality. And the newest one that's coming out looks like this, so I will talk about it a little bit more later. And all these, because sometimes you want to access online, so all the volumes are digitized on our website. You can access them. I will show you the website again later. And we also have social media like Facebook that offer a lot of materials for you to use in your classroom as well. So online professional English network Open, we offer MOOCs. We have facilitated teacher trainings that are 5 weeks long. Or if you are more occupied, you have a busy schedule, you can also use the self-paced teacher trainings, which is offers the same topics, but over a 12-week window. And to give you an idea of some of the topics that relate to you, like integrating critical thinking skills into the exploration of culture in an EFL setting, TESOL methodology, using educational technology in the English language classroom, professional development for teacher trainers, and also English for science, technology, and mathematics. That's actually a very important topic for Taiwan's bilingual education initiative right now. So a lot of focus on this. So it might be useful for you to know, to learn about this. And MOOCs are not very intensive, or you can drop in or drop out. So it's not something that you have to finish once you enroll. So I would encourage you, if you have time, you can take a look and see if that's helpful for you. So we have a Facebook that's devoted to educators. So it's called American English for Educators. Here you can find interactive graphics, video sharing, teaching tips, and professional opportunities. Here you can also find, like I said, the American English live webinars and the activity or event section on the page. So right now, I mean, it's October, our series is already up and running. So maybe next time you can look at the Facebook and see if there's something interests you. So right now, series 12, it runs until November 24th. If you take the webinars, it will look like this. There will be somebody leading. These are recorded, so you can take these anytime you want. And these are very short, unlike the MOOCs, which run longer. These come in 6 sessions. And so it's pretty manageable, I think, if you have a busy schedule. And to give you an idea of the topics that are offered, in this series, it's divided into 3 categories: English for specific purposes, tourism and cultural exploration, 21st century skills in the English language classroom, and also teaching STEAM to English language learners. Again, these you can come in and out. There's no obligation to complete everything. But if you complete 4 out of 6 sessions, you can let me know because I can send you an e-certificate for your hard work. And I will provide my email at the end of this orientation. And another social media platform we use is the American English at State. It's different from the other one in that this one targets learners and educators. So there are a lot more followers for this website. And again, we offer interactive graphics and videos sharing vocabulary, grammar points, idioms, quotes. For example, the American English for educators, the theme for this month is cultural inclusion. So on this Facebook, it will offer series like vocabulary on cultural exchange. So it's interconnected. And on those Facebooks, you will see a lot of videos, but if you just want to see videos, you can go to our YouTube channel. It has all the videos that are posted. So they're all short and very easy to understand. So you might be able to use these for your students. Right now, because it's the new semester, so we have the theme is back to school vocabulary. And last one, the website. So the website, it's www.americanenglish.state.gov. Here you can find a lot of free resources that are downloadable and you can print. So I said English Teaching Forum, the quarterly journal that we mail out to you. Right now, you can find them on the website here. So again, this is what it looks like in the copies that you'll get. So here you'll find a lot of articles contributed by US authors, professional teachers around the world. There are featured articles on using, right now there's one that's on humor instruction, also using story retelling wheels with young learners. So this might be very useful to you. And also on this website, I have a bunch of visuals. You can find games. I don't have all the materials in our library, but I do have a lot of this. You can download from the website, but activate. A lot of ETAs find this useful. It's got games. You can play with your students. I have a lot of these, so if you want them, you can email me and I can mail them to you. So a lot of games like what do I know about, and then noodles, love. You can use your dice and play this with your students. They love this. Very colorful, and there are a lot of different games in here. So activate. If you want extra copies, let me know. And also on this website, you can also find American literature or music. Things that you can use, again, in a deeper kind of classroom with deeper level of English proficiency. So there are also books like by Mark Twain or Jack London. There are a lot more titles there. So again, you can find everything online. If you find something you like there and you would like a copy, let me know. If I do have in my library, I will send them to you. So these are the English language learning resources that you can use. And that's the end of my presentation.
Hello, good morning. My name is Sophie Wang. I'm from the American Spaces team and also the public diplomacy section. Welcome to Taiwan, and I'm here today to introduce you the American Spaces. There are 6 American corners and 3 American shelves in Taiwan, 3 in Taipei, 1 in Taichung, 1 in Kaohsiung. And these American spaces are an open platform for people, for local people to participate in the program we designed for them. So, for example, we have basically all ETAs would do storytelling at American Corners. Because I know you have classes from Monday through Friday. So usually we have storytellings in the evening or on the weekends. But besides storytelling, we strongly encourage you to do other kinds of programs like the cultural talks. For example, I remember there was one ETA from Hawaii a couple of years back, and she went to the Taichung American Corner to talk about Hawaiian culture, and she brought ukulele to make her talks more interesting. And so that's kind of program we would like to see in the future if it's something you want to. And also, sorry. Oh yes.
Should I use?
Yes. Next, I forgot I have 3 pages. So you can see from the slides now. Basically, these are the programs I mentioned earlier, the storytelling and the cultural talks. So next slide, please. What's this? Oh, okay. So this is a storytelling program at Elan American Shelf. I think for Elan American Shelf, storytellings are always on Saturdays, so it's probably easier for you to go to participate. But for those of you who do not live near an American space, for example, if you live in Taitung or Hualien, we also have programs in East Coast. One of our American spaces is called the Mobile American Corner. It's on the bottom right. You can see it's actually a truck. It travels around Taiwan. For example, this week, I think the truck is in Hsinchu, and next Monday, the Mobile American Corner is going to Taichung. For each school, it stays for only 1 week, and it will have its opportunity to go to Taitung and Hualien. When we have the date and time, we will reach out to your coordinator, and so maybe your coordinator can help us to let you know the max time schedule. So we also go to the schools in remote areas. So maybe we'll go to your school. So when your coordinator let you know the time, and we welcome your participation. Okay, what else? Yeah, that's.
Yeah, your participation is adds a lot of energy to our program. Obviously, you're younger and you represent American culture. There's very direct interaction with you, between you and our participants. So they always really enjoy it when we have ETAs joining our program. So we would really appreciate it if your coordinator reach out to you and see if you have time to volunteer in our program. We would really like that.
Questions in the chat.
Is there any question? Should stop share.
There was one question that was listed about being involved in Jinmen. If they want to involve, we currently don't have an American shelf or American space in Jinmen, But you can always reach out to us, and if we do happen to have programming that's going to be in your area, if we know people are interested, you never know, there might be a role for that as well. So like Sophie's saying, the Mobile American Center could be one, but we also have other programming that's going on, and there could be an opportunity. We don't know, but anyway, express your interest. Just let us know. I sent my email address earlier. You could send it to me or reach out to Jenning, who will give hers as well. And if there's a way that we can include you, we'd love to. You're free labor, so that's awesome. Thanks.
We do reimburse if the transportation.
Yeah, only the transportation.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, 500 each
NT.
time. Yeah, we actually went to Jinmen a couple years back, and we had a program there. We went to Jinmen University and another high school, and if that happens again, we'll let you know. Definitely.
Yeah, Jimen's our programs are. I think we haven't really gone to Jinmen yet.
No.
Yeah. But other places we've gone to Hualien,
Hualien,
Taidong, yes.
Pingdong,
Yeah.
yes.
Jenning, there's also a question there about, I take for granted that for all the volunteering, they coordinate through the coordinators, not directly with you guys, or I actually don't know how that works.
We usually we reach out when we do have a program that can have an ATA component. So usually when we have that program, then we would contact FSE, and then FSE would contact your coordinator and then seek volunteers. So the programs are not regular. So usually it's something like Luke mentioned, we have an eSport program that's coming up. That one we will reach out to you, and it's in various locations, not just in Taipei or so you can email us to let us know you are interested. Then once we know the program's out, then we can let you know. But usually we go through your coordinator. I'm gonna type my email here if there's any question that you'd like to know, then you can email me.
Juliana, do you want to address the thing that somebody asked about absentee voting, how to go about that?
Oh yeah, I see the question. So the place to start is the Federal Voting Assistance Program website. So that's fvap.org. And you can get state-by-state information about how to register absentee, fvap.org. Yep. Federalvotingassistanceprogram.org, and that should be that's a federally maintained website that gets this sort of a portal to all the state websites, and you can start there. And if you have questions, go ahead and reach out to us, and we can help you. And our email address again is taipeiacs.state.gov. At state.gov. Oh, state.
Sorry. Sorry, this is I'm not used to this computer. There.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Okay. Once you are more settled with your current schedule, and if you can commit more time, we are welcoming you to come to American Space to have programs like a book discussion. For example, in Taipei, Taichung, and Kaohsiung, because the new semester is starting, and so we very much like to have programs like book discussion, but it requires more, time.
Time commitment.
Yeah, so once you are more settled with your school, yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Like Jenny just mentioned, Jack London's book and Mark Twain. These are very, very popular with Taiwan public. So if you are available.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Okay. So that's the end of our orientation for you.
Yeah. Thanks, Luke, Juliana, Jenny, and Sophie for this informative talk with us. Thank you very much.
Thank
So
you. Have a good day.
Good
You
day.
Thank you. Bye.
So we will have a break until 10:30. So please come back at that time. See you guys soon. Welcome back. So the next session is a very important session for everybody. I think, I mean, the topic is very like, scary, but I think everybody should know the procedure and what you should do when you have sexual harassment or assault that happen to you. So, it's for prevention and also know what kind of action you should do. So let's welcome Jane again to tell us the standard procedure that you can do and how you prevent these kind of situations. Jane.
Hi. Hi. Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, and I like the word term like can more than should. Like you always have a choice, and we just want to let you guys all know that some of the actions or some of the responses we can do. Okay, and hi, it's Jane again, and hope everybody are getting enough information throughout the training and get enough rest during this quarantine. And as the quarantine days changes, goes by, sometimes that our moods will change too. So hope all of you remember to accept and embrace all of your feelings, and we will be with you. Okay, and today the topic I share might be a little bit triggered for some of the people, some of you. So I would really like to invite everybody. You can like look after yourself and have some self check-in while we're having this talk today while you're here. And if you feel like triggered, or if you feel there's like emotions and you need some space, go ahead and look after yourself, give yourself some space, or go order bubble tea. Yeah, like have some time with yourself. Okay, and if you ever want to like process after this talk, you are more than welcome to contact me. Okay, so just want to let you know that we'll be here for you. Okay, and hope to create this safe space. So right now I'm gonna share my PowerPoint, and because hoping to create this safe space, so before my talk, I would like to share some group agreement or golden rules. I would like to start with this. Okay, so today, later we're gonna share a little bit about this topic and how Taiwan, like how we respond to some of these topic. And during this talk, it's okay to disagree because we all have different like opinions and different ideas. If you feel like offended or disagree, I'm all ears, okay? And the second one, I really appreciate like not to blame or attack other people, because there might be some sharings or thoughts maybe in the chat room. Yeah, that will be really appreciated. And it will be encouraged to use I focus. You use I and try to avoid like using like universal statements like we or all people. Yeah, that will be awesome. Okay, and the next one is honored confidentiality. We all want to respect everybody's stories, and what we talk about stays here with here, and what is learned here leaves here. Okay, and the next one is make space, take space. And also, if you need space, if you ever feel triggered, please have space for yourself to rest. And lean into this comfort. If you find yourself feeling uncomfortable, it's okay. If you want to explore more, explore why, like you can contact me. It's really likely that if we feel uncomfortable sometimes and have opportunity, we can learn and grow together. And the last one is respect. To be respectful for others' identity, pronouns, or respect other people when they're talking or sharing different ideas. Okay, so just want to create this safe space so everybody could would like to share things here. Okay, but it won't be a lot of sharing. Mostly I will be sharing. So if you disagree with me, definitely okay. All right. Okay. And remember that I will, no matter what, I love you the same. Okay, if you fall asleep, I love you the same. And you always have a choice. Okay. So today we're gonna talk 2 parts about preventing and also responding. And later, I think I will spend like 10 minutes to share a little bit about there's a DEI working team created by the ETAs and welcome all the ETAs and ETF to join. I'll spend 10 minutes for that, but most of it here, we're going to share some of the preventing and responding to sexual harassment or assault. And we do care about your safety issues. Yeah, so this is why it's so important. Yeah, and this is the criminal case. You can see the line, even though seems like it's getting better, like Taiwan mostly is safe, but still like these burglary, fraud, violence cases, sexual assault, yeah, public danger, like drunk driving, these criminal cases are still happening. So it's really important to take care ourselves or have some prevention. So I will love and to invite all the ETAs. Right now we're going to a new environment. Maybe you have traveled to different places, you have gone to different states, you have lived in different cities. Yeah, what are some of the dangerous situations have you and your friend have encountered? Maybe it's not just related to sexual harassment or assault, like any of these dangers. If you like to share, that will be awesome. Like my friend went to Egypt and there was this like hijacked and want everybody's passport. Yeah, like some of these dangers like just happen when they were there. Yeah, and one of my friends teaching abroad in Spain, there was like at the coffee shop, they were just using their phone and all of a sudden there's like a mat cover on the table and lots of kids come and go and their phone is gone. Yeah, what are some of the dangerous situation have you or your friends or anyone you know have encountered that was, yeah, that happened? You can put it in the chat box. Yeah, if there's anything that happens. Yeah. Stalked and harassed by a man through the subway and had to hide from him. Yeah, that will happen. Yeah, for sure, because like people will like stare at different people. Subways, and here Taipei we have MRT, other places have train, high-speed train. So be aware of these. Any other situation or dangerous things happen to you or your friends that you're willing to share? Yeah, thank you for sharing, because like so we can know like, oh, some of the things that we can have like be aware. Car, okay, open their car door and get in. Okay, so some of the ETAs will have like scooters or cars. Just be aware where you park. Try to make advices. Yeah, so when you're at school, at work, especially like you will I think in Taitung Huali and more, you will be meeting like Aboriginal teachers, indigenous people there. Some of them are really enthusiastic, but if it's crossing your boundary, it doesn't make you feel comfortable. If you want to practice some conversation, how we tell the teacher, or if you feel like it's harassment, like you can also contact me and we can figure that out. Yeah, thank you for giving ideas to think what will, yeah, might happen. Motorcycle isn't crash into your family. Oh, that hurts. Yeah. Steal phones. Yeah. Living around during 2016 elections. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah. So like lots of things that will happen, but it's really hard to prevent like some of these happen. So we can just try our best to protect ourselves. And right now we're going to shift a little bit into what are some helpful tools or ways that you could protect yourself. Yeah, what are some good ways you think it's helpful? Yeah, like learning Taekwondo, or yeah, like bring some alarm with you. It's sometimes it's really hard to prevent these. Yeah, like pepper spray, travel with buddy. Yeah, if you need some like help or assist, like somebody to accompany, yeah, like find a friend or coordinators could be very helpful. Sharing location with trust people. Yeah, if you're going to this place you're not really familiar, I don't know if the ETAs will download Line. Line is what like WhatsApp we use, and there's like a sharing location function. So if you ever go some places you're not sure, it's always okay to share your locations to protect your health. Yeah. Is pepper spray legal in Taiwan? Actually, you can get it. Yeah. But just make sure the wind won't, yeah, the wind is the right direction. But you can't bring the pepper spray to Hong Kong. But right now we can't really travel. But yeah, that's fun, a fact. Having buddies, sharing location, okay. Mass, yeah, okay. And like have, yeah, it's like self-checking, do I still have like energy to go back home? Yeah, like some of these can prevent, but some of these it's hard for us to prevent. Like if they steal your phone, or like if something just happened, like you didn't do anything wrong. So later I will share some of the survivors will have some feeling that, is it me that is not doing okay? But that is something I would like to share. You have to believe in yourself, like you are always right. No one can like offend like or touch your body without your consent. Okay, thank you for all these ideas. Really helpful. Hope that everybody could check it. And in Taiwan, we do have like pepper spray and also self-defense alarm. Sometimes it's not like we have these alarm and perpetrator will go away. It's like, yeah, we want to scare it, or like we want to protect ourselves. So like whistles, these are all things we can carry with us. That could be helpful tools to protect. Yeah, so also shifting to Taiwan, maybe, I don't know, in everybody's mind, if you have imagined any safety issues might encounter when you're in Taiwan. Yeah, is there any thoughts or ideas? Yeah, to answer the pepper spray, yes, you can get it in Taiwan. You can find it online. You can find it at Shopee. Shopee is a place we shop online. If your coordinator could assist with that, that would be very awesome. Worry about getting lost around the evening. Yeah, so it will be nice to have like a tour or an adventure around your neighbor in daytime, and make sure your phone have battery so you can find like the way back home. Okay, traffic safety, yes, scooters, earthquake and scooters. Scooters in bad weather. So like if that is happening, make sure you know the like be prepared before you leave the house on the scooter. Yeah, and if you ever need like a drive or help, always is okay to reach out. If it's during the typhoon day, you need to go to this very far away school, remote school to teach, and you feel like that's very dangerous. If you need like a ride or if you need some hours off, like please contact your coordinators or your school, because your safety comes first. Yeah, so like some scooter traffic, harassment, assault, these might be some of the safety issues we need to keep in mind. And yeah, so something we can't ignore is sexual harassment and assault. So like as a foreigner, there might be some possibilities that might encounter. Yeah. So maybe we can talk a little bit about the second one, because different places, different schools, different workplace, different places will handle it differently. I wonder that in your experience or in your memory, if something happens like assault or harassment, how does your school or workplace handle it? Yeah, if you like have no one because they will have flyers, or like your friend have gone through some of these. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, in this situation, actually different places will handle it differently. Later, we'll share a little bit about Taiwan, how we handle these things. Okay. And sometimes we have like these pervert stereotype, what gender, just male, you know, and maybe where are these people is everywhere. So it's really important that we look after ourselves. Here is a scenario. There's all kinds of harassment, and because this is a new environment to you, I don't know, like some of the scenarios, you feel like, is it harassment or is it not? So I would like to share some of the type of the harassment, like it's not okay to, other people could do these to you. And this scenario, we can look it through together. There's this teacher really likes one of the students, and every time he sees her, he will stare at her legs. Other students also complains that he often tells adult jokes and tells students that having more sex can live longer, sort of jokes, which makes students uncomfortable. Yeah, which part of the scenario make you comfortable? You don't need to answer, it's okay. Just like, what are some of the parts make you uncomfortable? Because when you feel uncomfortable, there must be something that is happening. And that is important to have this aware. And if you want to have conversations with other people about it, I'll be here. Yeah, because when you go to schools, you might see if the teachers are having these behaviors with students. That happened before, and the ETAs also let me know. So we have a chance that we can report, or like we can let the school know that this is not okay. Yeah, everything about the scenario makes, right? Yeah. It's like, is this harassment? Of course, this is harassment. Sometimes when it happens to us, we will feel like, is it okay to fight back with the like authority, or is it bad that I report? Yeah, sometimes we will have these thoughts, but here I want to let you know that this is not okay, and you always have support. Like, you don't need to be alone to face this teacher or the scenario or the school LET or like these authorities. You can come to me, we can have conversation, and we can have like confidential ways to help out. So this part, yeah, the whole situation for sure. Stare at legs, tell jokes, speak, evaluate other people's physical feature and appearance, languages, and gender specific, we could call that language harassment. And there are other ways, like other people, they touch your body without consent, causing other person to feel unhappy. If you feel uncomfortable, unhappy, feel offended, which it's harassment, okay? That when it's about body, it's physical. Okay, harassment. And or like sending you, sharing sexual related photos without consent and force other party to receive, that we also is harassment, visual harassment. Okay, so there's different type of harassment. And if you feel offended, that is harassment. Okay, so like don't blame yourself, or like don't self-doubt, is it harassment? If you feel uncomfortable, it's always nice that you can have conversation with at a safe place with someone you trust. Okay. Yeah. And like even there are speakers that makes you feel uncomfortable in some way, you want to process that. This could also sometimes feel, you need to process this is a different way of harassment. You can also have a open conversation with me, yeah, to process that feeling. Okay. I think I will put survivor. Hold on. So like in that scenario, that there's like different, sorry, in the last PowerPoint, there are different types of harassment, but sometimes it's really difficult for us or for students or for people to respond to it, because when it encounters like authorities or they will threaten you, then this could be a very trigger or a very tricky way. This is a, I don't know if you have seen it, The Hunted Ground. It's a documentary in 2015. Actually, it's an incident, a sexual assault on college campus in the United States. Yeah, but during this, in this documentary, it is very tricky because some of these survivors, when all these are being revealed, these victims, when they report their teachers, actually other people will ask them like, were you drunk at that time? Did you seduce the teacher? Or were you wearing like just mini skirts? Yeah, actually is the survivor was being blamed. So this is something that we need to keep in mind, is being a survivor is not easy. Okay, and we need to believe what they're talking about, and instead of like judging or blaming, because it's really hard to report or share these feelings, especially if the perpetrator have a higher hierarchy or have the higher power. So it's really hard for them to reach out. Okay, so later we will share some of how can we support, or what are some way we can, like, we think. So these are some things that we shouldn't, or we don't say it to the survivors. Okay, like, oh, you dress a little, so trying to induce these criminals or try to seduce other people, or like, guys are dangerous, how can you be so careless? Like, why you go out so late? Like, you will be experience different time or different places, different fun in Taiwan. And like, there might be chances you're going out late for dinner or like other clubbing or like some places. Yeah, like this shouldn't be blamed, okay? And also like girls need to learn how to protect themselves, or girls shouldn't go home so late. If you like clubbing, you have to take the risk of being sexual assaulted. Like, these are not the good ways to say to the survivors, okay? So remember, if anything's happened to you, or if it happens to your friend, it's really important to remember that you are not wrong at all, and don't blame yourself. It's really hard because we will have the self-doubt, or, oh, did I dress too less? Or like, you will have some self-doubt. So this is really important that to know that it's not okay to say these things. Yeah. Anthony, that is a really good point. Later I will share the process of how does these mandatory reporting law looks like. We do have it. Yeah, thank you for these ideas. Anybody have ideas that we shouldn't say, like, oh, you shouldn't have getting drunk. Yeah, it's not okay to be alone. Sometimes you have to do things alone, right? Yeah. So just be aware of some of these words. We should be more careful and be more considered. That will be really awesome. And thank you, Anthony. I'm going to answer that later in the slide. There's definitely these to protect us. Okay, and this is recently a documentary in Taiwan. It's actually in a hearing impaired there's a hearing impaired school that's happening sexual assault, but they can't speak, they can't talk. So like, there's like a hidden secret on this campus, and there are survivors, and there are witnesses, and there are supporters. There are different people in this system. So I would really like to invite all of us, we can have like some brainstorm together. If as a survivor, what are some emotions that might have, or this person might experience? Okay, maybe will feel like afraid to report, or might be scared, or might be like angry, or might be like guilt, shame, good point. Very guilty. Yeah. Scared, isolated. Thank you for that. Shame. Yeah. We'll all have these mixed feelings at this moment. So yeah. Is there other ones? Yeah. Witness can feel powerless. Yeah. Or like witness could feel guilt. Yeah. Witnesses might feel, what should I do? Or I hesitate, don't know, how should I support? So there will be like, if you're at different roles, you will be experiencing different feelings. So sometimes it's hard for you to make the next step, but always remember that you are not alone, you are not wrong, and find a safe place, confidential, or people you trust to share, and find local assist with that. Yeah, feel like it wasn't bad enough to be wrong, getting help or reporting. Yes. Feel embarrassed. Yes. Maybe feel nervous. All these feelings are sad, depressed, like because my body. Yeah. Like all these feelings will happen. Oh, yeah. So what are some of the supports if we can support others or we can support ourselves? What are some actions we can take? These are some of the steps we can do. The first one is the very most important one, is believe that you are not wrong and you are right, because we will have these guilt, this shame, this embarrassment, feeling powerless. So sometimes the first one is really hard, but this is really important. You have to believe that you are right and find someone you can trust, you can, that could accompany you. It could be maybe a new friend you make here, or maybe they're your coordinators. And there is this hotline, 113, also I'll share later. It's 24/7. If it happens to you, you can just right away call them and they will find like immediate support for you, okay? If it happens like maybe in midnight or some places, like this is a number you can call. And it's always okay to call the police, okay? So, but the first one, you have to believe in yourself that you are right, you're not wrong, and find some people you can trust, and also these government resource, and also to accompany you. And do not get showered, don't change, go to the hospital immediately, because we need to keep these evidence for later investigations, and then also to protect you. Okay. And try to remember the offenders or the perpetrators' characteristic. Sometimes it's hard, and sometimes when it happens, it's really like it's all, and you go blank. Sometimes it's hard for us to recall. But like if there's any of these that recalls to you, like write it down right away, put it in your phone right away, to keep some of these, because later we will forget. Okay. And then the last one is find somewhere safe to stay, maybe with a friend, or if you need to call coordinators, like if that could help you, or go to the hospital, emergency, the area there, like find somewhere you feel like safe to stay and to protect yourself, because that will be a lot of emotions and you need a safe space to process it or to calm down. Okay, so remember, you believe you are right. Find a company or someone you trust, or 113, 110, 119, and don't shower, go to the hospital immediately, and try to write down the perpetrator's characteristic on your phone, and then find a safe place to stay, okay? And these are very important. And then if you want to provide support, then here are some things I would like to share. Is believe in the victim, don't blame the survivor. remember, don't blame it. Show empathy towards survivor. Don't sympathize, empathize the perpetrator. Right? This is really important. And then also some actions. Reach out for help with the survivor. Be there with the person to support. Listen more than judgment. Okay, so like if you want to support this person, maybe just be there with this person and see what are some things she or he wants to say, and then just listen and find support and resources. Okay, and then also reach out to me or the coordinators at Fulbright that we can provide some assistance or help. Okay, and call 113. This is a hotline for domestic violence, sexual assault. It's 24/7. Okay, and because there will be language, some barriers, if there's obstacles when you're having this call, just let them know. Maybe you can find someone that could speak English, or you can memorize your location or like your some of the information that you can give to this line. And I will share like what is the process like in Taiwan, or if this happened to you or you see something happen in your school, what are some Taiwan's like law that we can take action. Okay, so if you reach out to me, I really encourage, if this happened to you, like please reach out to me. I'll give you a bigger picture of what it looks like. If they reach out to me, what will happen, so you don't have to worry, like what are some uncertainty, who are you going to report, like what are some things going to happen. So if you have questions, like after I share this information, you can also email me and we can have like another individual talks to talk more about it. Okay, so if you reach out to me, we're going to schedule a time to talk, have a safe space to process your feelings. Okay, and then I will be a support for you, and this will be confidential. Okay, at Fulbright. Okay, at Fulbright, it's going to be confidential. We don't want any of this information to leak out, but I do have to make a report. It's the government. It's also the same as 113. I will contact 113 line to have a report. The purpose is to have a document, put it down, and we can protect ourselves. So we have some documents, and later if we want to find a perpetrator, or like later it will involve like police to help to find this perpetrator, or like other social worker resources, then we will have these documents, put it down. So first we will process this feeling with you together, and at Fulbright it will be confidential. Okay, and I will need to make a report to the government. So later, after this report, there will be a couple of people will be involved. Okay, the first one will be the social worker. It's actually to see if you need like a translator, or in this situation, what are some other resources they could provide. And the second one is the police. They will help to investigate and like gather our the evidences. Okay, and the third one is doctors, because if we need to go like check, then hospital, we will the doctor will be one of our resources. Okay, and I will be the window to help throughout this process, so you won't be alone. But if I feel like I need extra assist, like if you trust the coordinator, and it could be a very helpful resource while you're at your sites, they can take you to places. I will if I need to contact them, I will ask for your consent. Okay, so I won't like reveal these without your consent. Okay, so if there's extra like other resources I need, then this will be the process that looks like. Yeah, and about the law, so for the law, if you ever see witness, or if it happens to us, the sexual assault, it needs to be like reported mandatory, yeah, to the government. Okay, and if you're at schools, if it's at school also, you need to report for sure. And same, the social worker, and mostly the social worker will get involved first, and the school counselor will get involved. These two are the main ones. And later, if they need like the police, the doctor, resources, they will also have these, make these connections. Okay, so this is about the assault part. If the harassment part, there's different laws based on like where you are at. If you're over 18 and is a harassment, you can decide if you want like further, you want to sue, or what are some protocols you want to take, steps you want to take. And if it's on campus, because it happened before, if there's students that being harassed, then you want to make a report, you can contact me, and then we can go to the, right now all the schools will have a counseling center. So we will contact this school's counseling center, or there will be one person, at least one person, to be in charge in the mental health area. So we will have this conversation together, and we will reach out to the school. And under this confidential, we will talk about what are some of your concerns. If you want to report this teacher, it will be confidential, and see what can the school do to protect you or the students. Okay, so these are some of the laws or a protocol that will happen if any of these happens. Okay, I hope I'm being clear enough. If there are still some misunderstanding, please email me. We can have individual conversation. Okay, or you can just schedule a time with me and we can chat more about it. Okay, so just want to let everybody know that supporting yourself, supporting others, and having this mindset of how we interact, what should we say, how can we provide support is really important. And also always remember, like, you are not wrong. Okay. So you can see what will be the better way for you to reach out. But I really encourage, if any of these happens, we want to protect you, and you will always welcome to share some of your concerns, your worries when you're talking with me. And I appreciate that. If there is a mandatory report I need to make, we will do it together. Okay. And this is my email, and any questions or all feedbacks are welcome. And if you ever feel triggered or offended, or you want to have like a process this, please also contact me. Okay, like little feelings are also important. Okay, it will piles up. So I really would like to have more talk with all of you. Okay. Okay, seems like there's not a lot of questions. I'm checking the time. I have another 10 minutes, so I will share a little bit about later with the DEI group. Okay. All right. And thank you for being here. Yeah. And Anthony, I hope I answer some of these questions for you. Okay. If later you think of some question pops out, go ahead and put in the chat box. Okay. So welcome everybody. This is, hold on, give me 1 second. I need to shift. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and jump in this DEI working team. I would like to share this team. It's a voluntary and then a self-selected DEI working team. Like, is welcome. Everybody is welcome if you're interested in diversity, equality, inclusion, these kind of topics, and you're welcome to join, like to have more conversation around it. So later you're going to be on campus, later you'll be at school, you're going to be in your community, you're going to be in your sites. There's going to be a big diverse. Really encourage you can bring your culture into these locals, and also learn from these locals, and also learn from each other. Like we are all have different culture. We're from different family. Yeah. So like definitely we'll have like different experiences. And I hope that we can create like this diverse, inclusive, equality environment, and we can learn from each other. And the purpose of creating this DEI working team, yeah, like I said, you all come from the US and now here in Taiwan. You could be group community and have these DEI conversation and learn from each other and understand from each other. So the very main purpose is building this community at sites or school through programming, even planning and hosting DEI focused conversations, and bringing in people who are not familiar with DEI social justice work and exploring what allyship can look like by creating this entry point to education. And so you're going to have different roles. You're going to be teachers, so bring it to the classroom. You're going to be Fulbrighters, learning from each other, different ETAs. And also, the purpose of creating this working team is we can educating on how race, class, gender impact Fulbright experience, having support that's really important in advising, creation, inclusion, anti-racism, social justice training at Fulbright. Some of like your feedbacks that will be helpful. And also we want to create safe for self-care and community care. Okay. So basically the members will be ETAs and ETFs. So it will, and then I work at Fulbright, so I will be like assisting this working team and give support and see what are some resources that we can find together. And what it looks like right now is that the DEI committee roles, there will be 3 E's: education, empowerment, engagement, these 3 big umbrellas. And I really want to say thank you, Lily, Ayana, Jamie, Jocelyn, because at the beginning we have like lots of conversation, and then later there's more people that to join our preparation for the DEI committee meetings. That's exciting. And so we come up with some of these ideas is like education, empowerment, engagement, 3 big windows. And each of it had 2 co-chairs. And under that, there's 5 to 6 members. So if you're interested in any of these, you can join. Later, I will share with you how to join. Okay. So on there are 3 committees, so you can see which one you're more interested, so you can focus on more of those topics. On the classroom education, this committee, we will focus on education equality, how race, gender impact our Fulbright experience, have conversation around it, and also might like lead some of the celebration of all diversity of culture and race through like History Month acknowledgement and celebration, like maybe Black History Month, Native American Heritage Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, API Heritage Month, like etc., etc. Like we can learn from each other's celebration, learn from each other's cultures or history. That will be a good way to teach your students or also learn from different ETA, ETFs. And also collaborate with FSE. Fulbright also have a DEI committee. It's separate from this working team. So the DEI working team at FSE will hold events. In the future, you will get invitation for everyone. And so this is the DEI FSE DEI committee. And they want to, we want to create like a diverse, mingle, community building environment. And also this is the ETA, ETF committee, DEI committee. So like later the education part, maybe there will be chances that we'll collaborate with the FSC, like some workshops, ideas, brainstorms, or like some training, suggestions, advising. Yeah, that are some conversations that we could have later around this DEI topic. Okay. And then the second one is the BIPOC Empowerment Committee. And this empowerment committee will center more on BIPOC Fulbright experience and some of the, and connections between race, class, gender by creating a safe space for Fulbrights to share their stories. So the picture looks like maybe there will be support groups, or there will be group talks. Yeah, and then create opportunities to amplify BIPOC's voices and issues through intersectional approaches. And then also, of course, wide affinity, like any or cohort support group, if there are like requests or want to have that, are always welcome. Okay, so we can all empowerment together. And I put question mark here. Also, maybe this part is there's social media, make a blog, podcast. We are open to more conversation around this empowerment, like what are some ways we'd like to use in the future to let more people to know about this topic. Okay, so this is the second committee. The third committee will be community engagement. Community will be a big part. Your schools, your sites with Fulbright, like all kinds of community. Community. Okay, so like creating this community through conversation, programming, events. So if in this committee you can hold like events on communities and like write some plans, yeah, and then write the budget, and we can see how it can support to like these local interactions with all of the ETAs. Yeah, so like events. And also building foundation for social awareness for folks who might not be as familiar with DEI and racial justice. So anyone that are interested, engage, we want like everybody could like learn from each other and engage in these topics and conversation. That will be awesome. That will be diverse. And also the last one is we'll focus DEI focused conversation. This part will be focusing on more personal identity explorations. So it might look like there might be a facilitator or there might be a group leader that can talk about like some of exploring your self identity or your privilege impacted experience, kind of like these kind of groups or talks. So there will be 3 committees. So if you're interested in classroom education, BIPOC empowerment, or community engagement, there will be, we're all very welcome. So this will be a little timeline. So you will be receiving the recruitment form later in the afternoon or at night. You will receive 2 links, and one is for the co-chair and one is for the committee. So you can see how do you feel, and if you want to join, if you don't want to join, it's all optional, okay? And if you want to join, if you want to be the role of co-chair or if you want to be the committee, you can fill out the form. Okay, and there's 2 due days. The first one will be next Wednesday will be the co-chair due day, and then will be the committee due day, okay? And then later, the next due day is the week, October 20th. And then once we're ready for the members, the committee, the co-chairs, then we will find because later you're gonna be out of quarantine, back to your site, your schools, you'll be busy, but we'll find a time that everybody could make it to have this gathering together. Okay, yeah. Okay, of course. I'll put sure the contact information. Oh, my contact information. Okay, so here, this will be my email. And then Olivia, how often would the committee meet? So I think that after this is already, when we know like who's the committee, who's the co-chair, who's the members, then can decide. Like, yeah, you can decide, is it weekly? Is it bi-weekly? Is it monthly? Yeah, so you, it's not a hope that you won't feel like it's a very big baggage on your shoulder. It's like more want to provide support and have like mingle. And if you want to create events, how can we make the events happen together? Yeah, I hope that answer your question, Olivia. Yeah. You will receive it from emails. Yeah, event workshops from emails. And I think if it's from the FSC committee, I think also through line. If it's from the working team, I think all kinds of possibilities. Yeah. So everybody's welcome. And this is my email. If you have any questions, then you can email me. Okay. All right, perfect on time today. Ta-da. Okay, everybody, I hope that everybody can enjoy your lunch. And yeah, email me if you have questions or you want to process earlier what we talk about. Okay, so thanks for all the ideas and brainstormings.
Yeah, thank you, Jane, for this this session, because I think both topic, sexual harassment procedures and also for the DI group are very important, and especially for you in Taiwan. And we hope that we can build a community for yourself to talk about DEI, and you feel it's safe to talk about that. And of course, like Fulbright will try our best to help you guys to, mingle you guys and blending in Taiwan. And if you have any issues or any questions about DEI or sexual harassment, please don't hesitate to contact us. And here I have two reminders for everybody. The first one is that we have a official account, a LINE account, and then you can get access all the contact info through that LINE account. So if you need any contact and you need to contact someone and you forget the number, you can go through that LINE account. So we'll share the link with everybody. And the second thing is that we have several Google Classroom assignment, right? I know that some of you are still very busy because you are going to do some like a PCR test, and some of you are still in the quarantine and you don't really have time to complete all of them. But please don't forget to do that, because from report 15, then it's part of the summer orientation and it's mandatory. So we need you to help us to complete the tasks on Google Classroom. Okay, so if you have any problem or question about completing them, you can email me. I know that for report 19, a lot of people get the problem about the sharing of the documents. Please just create a Google Doc on Google Classroom, and then you can just copy and paste the prompts and you can complete that one. Sorry for the inconvenience. So that's it, time for lunch. So thank you for your participation, especially for Team 1. You complete all the training now, and you are going to go to another session of your life in Taiwan. And for Team 2, I will still meet you guys next week. So see you.